Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to another edition of Living Simply and Fun. I'm your host, Aries, and this is Aaron.
And keep your flask of whiskey under that hat?
Yeah, I do. I like my whiskey. Best one right now is Evan Williams. It's a true 86 proof. Everything else is being watered down to 80 proof, except for Booker Nose, which is truly a 127% proof bourbon.
So, we missed last week. I was sick, and the day that we were going to record, I was going to do the spaghetti squash and do it for you on camera and everything. But I got into the spaghetti squash, and it didn't look too healthy. So, I decided to scrap that, and figure next month I'll get some more and try it then. I guess I waited too long on it. So, anyways, after missing last I just apologize for that. Yeah, no, it's only last Sunday.
We didn't do it for 2 weeks. This is 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
2 weeks, yes.
2 weeks. Well, we haven't graced your presence in that long. Shame on us.
I blame him for it.
It's my fault.
No topics.
Oh, no, it's not that I didn't have any topics. It's just I didn't feel like doing any topics. Procrastination. It's fun. However, it doesn't help you all. So, anyways, as for one of the topics today, I wanted to talk about health, particularly in the food industry. We're always talking about how people need to eat healthier, and I try to cook healthier foods when I can. I'll put that down. We talked about Schwann's before, and how terrible it was.
Yeah, because they take EBT.
Exactly. But one of the things I want to talk about is you can get 2 bags of chips for $5. You can get 10 for 10 on Chef Boyardee sometimes, or 10 for 10 on those Totino's pizzas. You can get peanut butter relatively cheap. Fidgety tonight. You can get all sorts of things relatively cheap. Heck, we just saw cookies that were $1 a package. They're imported.
Behind you.
We got these lemon ones, and they had some coconut ones. They're imported.
From Keebler.
And they are Keebler, but they're not American Keebler. Anyways, those were $1 a package. Not very healthy for a person either.
They're very addictive, and you need plenty of milk to go with it.
You can get crappy cans of chili and ramen noodles and everything else cheap. You can get bologna cheap. There just a lot of things you can get cheap. But when it comes to vegetables, other than like corn, carrots, and celery, the selection is oftentimes terrible at best, and usually overpriced. Like I was looking at pomegranates the other day. One pomegranate, $3.99. One. And do you know how much is actually edible of a pomegranate? There are some people who eat the seeds. But you usually just suck the juice off the seeds, and the whole thing is seeds, with maybe 2 or 3 teaspoons of juice inside. It's really not worth $3.99. I got Starfruit not long ago for us, and that was 2 for $5. $2.50 for a fruit that big. That's what?
Tasted like
that's like one apple.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine paying $5 for an apple? Unfortunately, apples can also get very pricey. When I was living in Ohio, it was oftentimes $3.69 or $3.99 a pound for apples.
That's because you were paying the Washington price.
Now,
we're the apple
out
capital
here,
of the
I
world.
can oftentimes get about a 3-pound bag of apples for the price that I was getting in Ohio. But and corn prices are cheaper out here too. Usually 5 years for $1 or 3 years for $1. You don't have to move the camera. He's trying to say hi too. He's upset. So, anyways, what I'm trying to say is that vegetable prices should probably be subsidized so that you can eat healthier. Over fattening bread that's mostly carbohydrates, maybe tortillas should be cheaper. You get less actual material, but one tortilla can work just as well for peanut butter and jelly, and just roll it up or fold it over. And look at it this way too. When you go into a Walmart Walmarts are traditionally pretty much the same everywhere in their layout design.
Except for some Walmarts are super Walmarts. And some
Even
aren't.
then, what you end up finding is about 8 rows, maybe 10 rows of dry foods, which are mostly fatty, about 2 rows of frozen foods, and essentially one large row of produce. Which has everything from your lettuce to pre-packaged salads, fresh seasonings like thyme and stuff, garlic, potatoes. Usually a third of the row is potatoes, which potatoes are usually pretty cheap, but they're not exactly one of the healthier vegetables either. And just try to find something like kohlrabi or abajans or certain various other things, jackfruits at your grocery store. Most grocery stores just don't carry this stuff. And the fact of the matter is that I can't even find turnips around here. And radishes seem to be seasonal. It's not something that's always on the grocery store shelf.
What irritates me about fresh fruits is sometimes I'll go to the store and I'll get a hankering for a pineapple.
Yeah.
They'll give them the jumbos. Lately, they're like...
They're giving these little ones
that
like
you
that.
can cram up the butt like in Little Nicky.
Like $3.49 for a pineapple, no bigger than that. When we used to get them like that, they changed to the Maui Golds, which are smaller but sweeter apparently, and don't have as much acidic bite to them. But you know, I prefer the larger ones. They stretch longer and they tend to be cheaper. And another thing also is that, like spaghetti squashes, which is something I like to make, I tend to only find them in the fall season. However, when I was living in Ohio, you can find them year-round. So why are they only like fall season around here? And I'll tell you, it's because there's just not enough space on the shelves.
And not a lot of people want to invest their money to eat them either.
When it comes to button mushrooms, or mushrooms in the store, the only thing we get is prepackaged button mushrooms. Now, some places you can actually go and they have bins of mushrooms and you can pick and choose and look at them. They sometimes have morels and other types of mushrooms that you can use, shiitakes. We don't have any of that. We don't have portobellas, nothing. Just button mushrooms.
Portobellas.
And our store tends to carry like 4 little packages of mushrooms, maybe 8 or 9. And that's all they'll have for the whole week. And it's like, you know... Where is the health-conscious American? Where are the subsidies to help lower the cost of vegetables when all this junk food is dirt cheap? If they want Americans to eat healthier, then maybe what needs to be done is giving some subsidies to these companies, the farmers, so that the prices are cheaper. And
which reminds me, there's now a new subsidy going around for some of these factory companies. I want to rant for a second. Yeah, so it was simple as simple can be, and it was, and I'm going to say this, subsidies on Twinkies and cupcakes. Yeah, so,
she's got a system update that just popped up.
So, exactly what I'm saying is Twinkies and cupcakes. I saw 4 boxes of Twinkies today for $5. And 4 boxes of cupcakes for $5.
Yeah, and you know, this is disgusting. That's nothing but junk. Heck, Fritos, I think, were 2 for $3 or something like that. No, $1.99 a piece or something. It was 2 for $4, I think.
2 for $4, right.
And still, that's cheap. And they had these tortilla chips, which at least tortilla chips are a little better for you, but over like Doritos and Fritos. But they were like $1.50 a bag on sale. And what's best for a person is pork rinds, but they're like $2.50 a bag and $2 for the ones that are always priced at $2. And even then, they got high salt content, but at least they're less fat. And they don't have the carbohydrates and everything either.
I also want to say, since we have a time limit, since he's talking about foods, I would like to talk about somewhat the class system.
Yes, like the foods, the rich tend to get the vegetables because well, the vegetables are more expensive, so the rich tend to cook fresh foods more often than the poor do. And really, that's kind of a class issue, but there's a class system in this country, there's no doubt about it. And we were talking about it the other day. Rita was talking about dating and stuff, and I basically said I would not date a drunk, and I said if a drunk girl ever came up to me and said that I'm not in her league, I'd laugh at her and say, yeah, you're not in my league, you're a drunk. Because actually, in my opinion, drunks are among the lowest in society, but that's my own opinion. I can't stand being around people who are drunk. They tend to be aggressive, they tend to be angry half the time, they don't think rationally. I really do not like to associate with people who are currently drunk. So I will not date a woman who is an alcoholic, ever. It's just my own thing. Yes, I have a standard, but that's actually like one of my only standards. But in this country, there's all sorts of standards. And I'm kind of in that disabled loser state. And Rita pretty much is too.
Yes, we were talking about this because I keep seeing these things. For example, genetic girls, transgendered girls, they say, oh, you have to be a successful business person, and etc. And it's like you have to have a six-pack or an eight-pack. It's like, come on.
Success and looks have nothing to do with love. If you want somebody that you love and will care for you and treat you right, then you don't need to care about how much money they make, what they look like, and what car they drive. I'm sorry, yes, most guys, their ideal is a woman with large breasts and perfect skin and a beautiful face and looks like a model out of Playboy or something.
That's what my brother, Michael, wanted.
And to me, I really could care less. Looks have nothing to do with it to me. It has nothing to say for the soul or the person's personality. Of course, yes, when I date somebody or if I was to get married, I'd want somebody that I related to, that I felt comfortable around, that I wanted to be with. I just because she looks good doesn't mean that I'm going to want to be with her.
It's her personality.
And I'm not one to be like, oh yeah, it's the sex, that's why I'm after her, you know. It's just wrong. But yeah, that's all part of the class system, and really Rita brings this up, and it's something that takes more time than we actually have to discuss.
Unless we want to do a part 2.
We'll have to do a part 2, but it'll probably come next weekend as our topic for then. And it'll be better thought out, I'm sure of that. So
if I remind him, the last 2 weeks I reminded him, he went doo 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 doo.
As I said already a couple times in here, I'm disabled, and one of my things is I procrastinate on things, and I find other things to do, and I forget about doing things like that.
His words is manana.
And as I know right now, there's only 7 of you, so it's not like I have we have a following of like 500 or 1,000 that we have to make sure to update.
And his other wording is Hakuna Matata.
And actually, I wanted to change the title of this thing from Living Simply and Fun to something else, but
we could start a new channel yet again.
I don't want to start a new channel yet again because we already got 7 followers here, as I said, which isn't a lot, but I'd hate to ask them to all transfer to another channel to watch us further. But really, we've gotten more into philosophical and life events and how to handle things and what should be or shouldn't be, opinions, etc. And so it really isn't so much living simply and fun like we'd originally intended on how to enjoy life cheaply, which actually was kind of a set of topics that could be run through pretty quick, and we were doing them daily for a while, so we ran through a lot of the topics real quick.
So, anyways...
And really, we're not really all that much fun because we live out in the middle of a farm community, and there's not much more to do than what we already do, and we've already told you what we do. We like to play video games and things like that, so we can't really update you on the video game industry and what we're doing on the video games at this point in time because, well, it's still the same one that we were playing a while ago.
So, please add and subscribe if you like. Please post comments in the box if you like. And please add us as a friend if
Suggestions,
you
too.
want.
And thoughts, comments, concerns, opinions. We like them all.
And, of course, suggestions.
And don't make any comments about her being transgendered or a freak or anything.
Or asking, am I a man?
Those things are already things that we expect to see eventually, so there's no reason to post them.
Thank you. Have a nice day.